All right, the next one on our list is M68. M68 asks us to indicate whether the following items will be added or subtracted from the company's books or bank statements when we're doing the bank reconciliation. Remember, the goal of the bank reconciliation is to take the bank balance, compare it to the book balance, identify all the differences, and in the end make the adjusted balances match, right? So there's some items that can be adjustments on the bank side, items that can be adjusted on the company side. For the bank side, the things that we talked about were deposits in transit, outstanding checks, and any errors caused by the bank. For the company side, we had interest earned, service charges, EFTs, NSF checks, and errors by the company. Remember that these adjustments originate some due to timing, but overall due to the fact that there's things that either one side, like the bank, knows about that the company doesn't, or things that the company knows about that the bank doesn't. All right? So let's look at the items that we have here. The first one is outstanding checks. Outstanding checks will be a subtraction, 12,000 for outstanding checks over here. Outstanding is abbreviated O/S. Okay? Why is that on the bank side? Well, outstanding checks represent checks that the company's written to people that the bank hasn't yet seen because those people haven't taken them to the bank, right? So the bank obviously doesn't know about them. They're recorded in our books, in the company's books, as a deduction to cash. But the bank won't know about them until someone brings them, someone presents the check so that they can turn it into cash, right? When they do that, it will decrease the bank balance. Therefore, this is a decrease adjustment. B says bank service charge. Bank service charge will be a decrease, forget the amount, $15, a decrease to the book side. Why? The bank charges us a fee. We don't know about the fee that we're getting charged until the bank tells us, usually via the bank statement. Therefore, the bank knows about this, but we as the company don't. When we learn about it, we will decrease our cash balance or our books. Therefore, this is a decrease or a deduction. The next one, deposit in transit. Deposit in transit is an addition to the bank side. We call deposit in transit DIT. Why is this an increase to the bank side? We took the deposit to the bank. As soon as we did that, we recorded in our books increase in cash. So cash goes up, right? The bank, depending on the timing, hasn't had time to process it. They have to check, make sure that all the checks that you're trying to deposit have enough funds to clear, has to go through the proper procedures, take out of one bank account, put it in the other bank account. So there's a float time, a time between when you actually put it there and a time when it actually clears. That float time has been, with modern technology, substantially reduced. It used to be larger, now it's very small. But it can still exist depending on the day of the month when you actually deposit the funds. For instance, if you go deposit them right before a weekend, it might not clear until the next week. If your company books have to report financial statements at the end of the month, and that end of the month falls on a weekend, then when you're doing your reconciliation, your comparison from the bank to the books, you might have a deposit in transit. The last one, D, interest earned. Interest earned is an increase to the company side. Most businesses, they don't calculate their interest. If it's like a small business, they're not going to calculate their interest because it might be too cumbersome. The cost-benefit trade-off might not be there. Remember that your bank balance can always be fluctuating. Each day it changes, right? So they might wait until the bank calculates the interest for them and then maybe do some sort of reasonableness test to say, well, is this the type of interest that I'm expecting, or would I be expecting more, and why? Okay? If they're earning more interest, or if interest is a larger factor, they might do their own calculation. But we can assume that, particularly for small businesses, they're going to record interest once the bank tells them what the interest is, okay? Therefore, for our purposes, we can see this as an increase to the company's book side. The bank's already recorded it. They put the money in your account. So that was an increase to the bank statement. It already has it. But the books doesn't know about it until the bank tells them, and that's when it increases their account. All right, these are the items for M68. Please let me know if you have any questions.